그렇죠. 앉아서 이거 보고 싶어. 나왔어, 좋았어.
First off, is when you stop to get coming, not once but twice. To be right to January 6th. Once to honor Officer Brian Sicknick, who lost his life the day after the attack. The second time to honor Officer Billy Evans, who lost his life defending his capital as well. Think about the others who lost their lives and were injured, and everyone living with the trauma of that day. And those defending his capital, to members of Congress and both parties and their staff, to reporters, cafeteria workers, custodial workers, and their families. And figure skating. Pain and scars.
And traffic control. And the bell traffic control.
There's no more fear when you think about the events of January 6th. You all in the battle of the soul of America. A battle that by the grace of God, the greatness of this nation, we will win. Believe me, I don't have difficult to it's crystal clear as we stretch America faces. The darkest days to lead to light and hope. From the death and destruction of Vice President Jefferson to the silence of the enforcement fascists. From the retaliated desert Sunday, the Edmund Place Bridge, to the historic voting rights action. And now let's step up, like the next chapter in American history. When January 6th marks not the end of democracy, but the beginning of a renaissance of liberty and free trade. I don't want to speak for this country in many words, right? Strength from it either. I will stand in this street. I will defend this nation. I will allow no one to place a dagger at the throat of democracy. We will make sure the will of the people is heard. That the battle prevails, not violence. And authority in this nation will always be peacefully transferred. I believe the power of the presidency and the purpose is to unite this nation, not divide it, to lift us up, not tear us apart. It's about us, not about me. Deep in the heart of America burns a flame, lit almost 250 years ago, of liberty, freedom, and equality. This is not a land of kings or dictators or autocrats. We're a nation of law, of order, not chaos, of peace, not violence. Here in America, the people rule. Through the ballot, and the will prevail. So let us remember, together, we're one nation, under God, individual. But today, tomorrow, and forever at our best, we are the United States of America. God bless you all. May God protect our troops. My God bless those who stand watch over our democracy.
All right. That went a little bit too long with the president. We are not going to go for a commercial break. So we spent this entire hour listening to, well, actually more than that. We listened to about 10 minutes of the vice president and about an hour and a half of the president as he spoke. And it's, we're going to talk about it in a minute or two, but just a quick announcement. Since we have no breaks, this hour, from 8 to 10 o'clock this morning, it will be all commercial. So enjoy the show. All right, Jennifer and Wayne, we're going to to get into some thoughts. Let me start with one or two thoughts. First of all, Kamala Harris was an utter life success. I don't think she did herself. I don't think she did the administration. I don't think she did America any good or proud. She was clearly reading off of a teleprompter. I don't think the speech was particularly well written. And what's going through my mind is this is the heir apparent to the presidency as far as the Democrats are concerned. And that literally is my fear, that she is going to inherit at least the nomination. And it's a lot like the chairman of the Rose Parade. It's your turn. Okay, you've been around long enough, and now you're next up. So I'm going to pretty well dismiss what she had to say. She's a terrible reader off the prompter, and I didn't get much. Now with the president and a couple of things. First of all, I thought the president delivered the speech very heartfelt, no question, clearly speaking to the American people. Way too long. I think it's not too awful. And a couple of things of interest that I again pointed out. He did not mention Donald Trump by name, mentioned the former president, and then ripped into him as if he's not even going to give the name any credence, simply describing the former president. So I thought that was an interesting thing. Also, I want to make a personal point, and then I'm going to speak. We're hearing the phrase an attack on democracy. And I think we're conflating the attack on the Capitol with the attack on democracy, big picture. What we have, the attack on the Capitol, certainly was an attack on democracy, but it was a couple of thousand people. All right? You just have a couple of thousand of basically insane, crazy, they should be on the street corner with bullhorn people. The attack on democracy is 75% Republicans think the election was rigged. The majority of Republicans in this country think we cannot have a fair election if a Democrat wins. The only way a fair election happens in the United States is if a Republican wins. That is frightening beyond frightening. To the point where our allies, particularly in Western Europe, are questioning our democracy, questioning that fear. And we did point out one thing, and that is the fear of truly taking away the power of the American people. This country was created. You said the founding fathers were flawed. No kidding, slavery. How about that one for being flawed? Women couldn't vote. Oh yeah, that may be a problem too. But the premise of the United States is it was the first country in the world, modern state, well, actually the first country in the world when you think about it. There were some city-states, etc. But as a country that has the concept that the sovereign of this country are the people. Now we have a head of state, we have a governance, but the sovereign, like the Queen of England is the sovereign of England. Here, the people are the sovereign. And the vote is so critical as the sovereign oversees itself in this case. Now, what an extraordinary concept. And so, with that said, now let's go into the specifics of the speech and what you thought and what you took away from it. All right, Wayne?
Well, I don't even know where to begin except to say that this rhetoric is way out of control, particularly the gloom and doom that democracy stands at a precipice and it's about to fall apart. No,
I think
no. Tell me what structure of our government or democracy has failed.
I'll tell you exactly what has failed, and that is we have a number of people who don't believe we have free elections.
That's not the government. That's not the structure of the government. That's not a government entity. That's a bunch of people.
Yeah, but how many?
With opinion.
No, that's not just opinion. Who truly believe that we had a rigged election. Who truly believe that our president is not a legitimate president. who truly believes that Joe Biden is single-handedly destroying the country. Yeah, that's okay, because, Democrats believe that Republicans single-handedly destroy the country,
That's
too.
political rhetoric.
I know, that is political
And
rhetoric.
mass delusion says nothing about our democracy. My point is this. What election, like what local results were overturned? None.
That's correct. However,
Other than one crazy district court judge who was immediately overruled at the appellate level,
not even our...
what court ruled that there was the kind of fraud that should result in the election being overturned? None.
All right, but let me make an analogy here, or give you an example. If you have a vast majority of people who don't believe in the law at all, the police are still out there, arrests are still being made, but the people don't believe that the law is good. And that, to me, is frightening. The president talked about the rule of law way too long, and it's all straight. But it was the concept, to me, is Americans have to believe in our own election institutions. And the day we no longer believe, we're the one-party state. We are the communist country where the only law that exists is what this guy, either President Xi or President Putin, says it is. That's right. That's who we're going to follow, no matter what. The election is fraudulent. That many people believing the election is fraudulent? I mean, you're right. The Americans did not get arrested. Right? You didn't have 3/4 of the Republicans getting arrested. If you have 3/4 of Republicans leading, and you don't have a democracy, or the only way you have a democracy is if it's Republican.
That's not on the system. It's the very scary part. Absolutely, is that frightening? Yes. Is that a rap against the soundness of our system? No. If anything, the lesson from what happened with that election, the challenges to it, and the storming of the Capitol, the lesson is the system we have with the 3 different parts of government, with checks and the balances, the message is it withstood even all of that.
I'm not arguing that. What I am arguing is while it withstood it, the Republicans, the majority, don't believe it's valid. Don't believe that system of government exists anymore. It's a fake. It's not true.
The phenomenon is not the decline of democracy. The phenomenon is the growth of shared delusion in the political realm.
Yeah, but
that's a problem of
I disagree.
People, not the system.
I mean, this is here's what we're doing. We are now arguing the specifics of philosophy. Let's go back to the speeches that we just heard.
Okay, if we do that, the one thing that the president had said that he was going to do and did today was rip into Donald Trump. I mean, absolutely put the onus of every bit of this on the president. Having said that, though, did it then empower the Trump base? Did it then empower President Trump to go forward? He spent so much time on it and gave them so much showtime, if you will. And he brought to light how much power they were able to get that day and how much publicity and how much they were able to garner support that day. I almost wonder if it did more harm than good. If he's going to come just out of the gate, blame Trump, said, hey, you guys were wrong, blah, 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 then focus on the future.
I agree completely. I think that's great analysis. By the way, you're dead wrong. I just want to say that. Now, the first part of this speech, you know, on the history, I love, yeah, you ate that one. Behind me is where Abraham Lincoln sat in seat number 141 as a new congressman. That, I thought that tied that part of it together. The epitome of a democracy, Abraham Lincoln, and you have to keep the union together no matter what. And we're dealing with a group of people that are determined to separate the union. There are 2 unions in this country. according to so many people. One, the legitimate United States of America. The legitimate United States of America is only there with a Republican win. That's it. There's our definition. You lose the presidency, you no longer have democracy. It doesn't matter how expensive and how careful the vote was. To this day, I just saw an interview that, yeah, Joe Biden won it. I mean, Donald Trump won it. But what evidence do you have? Well, we saw that video and we heard from that person, all of the internet, of course. And the rest of it is all fake. The judges, 65 of them who ruled, were all bought off by the Democrats. How about the Republicans? What they're bought off too. They're traitors. That is the attack on democracy. That's the way I view it.
You know, when he
but
said,
to your point, I thought that was very well said. He lost it simply by length.
he lost it by length, and I think that when we started to get into, you know, it was a guy who had a bruised ego, those sorts of things, immediately what came to my mind was how people ripped on President Trump for talking about Hillary too much. Like, let her go. Don't say anything about her. Make her inferior. Make her not important. And because President Biden kept focusing on President Trump and got personal with that, like the bruised ego portion of it, it was like, if you want to point out that this guy's at fault, say he's at fault, but then move on, don't get on the stage, don't give him the power.
And to be presidential is to literally, and you really do need storing rhetoric. There's no question. It's like a State of Union. Anyway. But you can't have storing rhetoric to happen. Yeah, because you lose it. You lose it in the translation.
And I forget if it was you or Wayne who talked about, it was very gloom and doom. We needed more like, hey, this is what we're doing now. And hey, you know, we needed some more that story rhetoric that was positive.
Yeah, well, I have to disagree on that one.
Well, you would.
Yeah, there isn't enough gloom and doom. In a quick word, we saw in a few minutes, Kamala Harris, starting with that. We actually, the three of us here, with the microphones on, were actually deriding her, making fun of her, because her speech was, I mean, she is bad in front of a teleprompter. I mean, Joe Biden is not wonderful, see, talk like I do. He is not wonderful in terms of the teleprompter, but you know this man is talking from the heart. That there's no question of it. He truly believes. Kamala Harris is a fool in pretending to somehow be involved.
That's been a criticism of hers for years, is that the more she tries to be genuine, the more disingenuous it comes across.
Yeah. All right, Wayne, other than you being completely wrong on the conversation that we had, your thoughts about the speech itself, both of them, the delivery, the tone, the effectiveness of what we heard.
No. I'm not going to get sucked into this morass. I know you're on a different wavelength right now than I am about all of this, and that's fine. I'm not getting sucked into turning this into, they get up there with a bunch of rhetoric that is not in any way practical, that has nothing to do with actually running a country, and then we're going to sit here and spend all of our time getting sucked into the debate about how were their speeches. Their speeches were inconsequential and unnecessary and highlight the actual problem with our democracy, which has nothing to do with one party or the other party.
Okay, you're wrong again. I understand. That's your job, is to be wrong here. I've read your contract, and in there it says you must be wrong.
I think what's happening now is a perfect demonstration of why we can't move past any of this. Because it's 2-1 here, focusing on the rhetoric part of politics rather than the actual practical. Neither party does anything. You want to know what the threat to democracy is? You want to know what is chipping away at democracy? When the Supreme Court said money is speech. That's true.
Well, and I think
I'll buy that. United Citizens, I agree.
and Wayne, and it's not two against
Or
one because
Citizens United.
I completely agree with you in the sense that that's what I was talking about. When you need that soaring rhetoric, I need to know what we're doing going forward.
I agree
I
with
need
that.
the positivity on it. I need the
Soaring
plan.
rhetoric? Was that soaring rhetoric, or was that a guy like scolding
I think it was both.
the other guy for 25
Definitely
days?
scolding. No, I'm saying that's what we needed.
Yeah.
Was I need the plan going forward. I need the positivity. I need you to give me hope, not just give me doom and gloom and hey, this guy sucks.
However, and I'm going to say this is a time for soaring rhetoric, describing one of the true moments in American history where we are in deep trouble, as far as I'm concerned. And by the way, he had a point, and that is, first of all, the Founding Fathers, mentioning the Civil War. We have never been, in the history of the United States, we've never had brother against brother as far as where democracy is concerned. No one disagreed throughout our history that elections weren't important and that the election process is rigged completely across the country. It is so flawed, it's not an election. And there is a time for soaring rhetoric, and I think this is the time for soaring rhetoric, but only for a few minutes. This is where Jen, I think, is 100% right, and that is way too much, and I think it lost its effectiveness. But getting a history lesson on what we are about, what we have been about, that we are not about what dictators and strongmen are about. And he is right, incidentally. If you read anything that is said by Putin or Xi, honestly, they think democracy is on its detriment. And not the Nikita Khrushchev crapola where we're better, communists are better than democracies and capitalism. I'm talking about truly believing it and people believing it, that we are on our last leg. And the problem is believing it. Not that we are, but the belief. Because once we believe that, we're on our way to doing that. Once we believe that the elections are fraudulent no matter what we do, then we have a true attack on our system by our citizens. So anyway, I'm going to end it with that last word. And the reason I'm giving the last word, Wayne, what's the name of the show?
The Bill Handle Rate.
That is correct. 100%. All right, I thought what we would do coming up next hour is, we lost, of course, all of our commercial time. And so also contractually, we make it up the next hour. So we'll have an hour of commercials. And that's not what's going to happen. I know, that's not true. That's not true. That's
don't panic, everybody.
Pardon?
I said, don't panic, everybody.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah, that would be a true attack on radio. All right, we are going to come back. Let's do Handle on the News because there's a lot going on. So we're going to have somewhat of a modified show today. Handle on the News, and then we'll jump right back into our regular programming. This is KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Mood-enhancing, pharmacy-grade, stimulating talk.
KFI.
KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
What word? I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. President Biden has marked the anniversary of the Capitol insurrection by saying that democracy held as rioters attacked. He painted a vivid picture of the violence that happened 1 year ago on government officials.
We saw it with our eyes. Rioters menaced these halls. Threatening life with the Speaker of the House.
Ain't crackers too.
Literally
your
erecting
fans.
gallows
Ain't
to
crackers
the
too.
Vice President of the
your
United States
fans.
of America.
Biden also spoke directly about former President Trump's involvement in
These
stirring
are facts.
resentment and confusion about the election.
So let's speak plainly about what happened in
Hey,
2020.
Coach Rogers, what's your answer
Even
say?
before the first ballot
Share your
was
pause to tell me which way to go. Hey, Coach Rogers, what's your answer say? Share your pause to tell me which way to go.
Biden said Trump and his supporters are trying to rewrite history. People in LA County who work indoors will soon have to wear medical-grade face masks.
Crackers too.
In the County Department of Public Health says the workers will need to start wearing the high-quality masks by January 17th, and employers will be required to provide them.
Well, this is
Says
picture.
it's an ambulance
Alright, that's just
service.
it.
In the event firefighters experience a delay offloading a patient at hospital, Captain Eric Scott says a lot of backlog happens because people are calling 911 for non-emergencies.
There's really the majority of patients who have tested positive are able to remain at home, isolating and do not require hospitalization. What we don't want is people to call 911 emergency department.
Incredible, Stu. Incredible, Stu. Yes, man.
Quickly from location to location to minimize any disruption to service. Beverly Hills City Council has voted to support the recall of LA County DA George Gascon.
These are from Versus and the Frog. Incredible, Stu. Incredible, Stu. Incredible, Stu.
No confidence voting Gascon. Wunderlich says the council is concerned over the DA's special directives, which minimize certain felonies, do away with bail, eliminate sentencing enhancements, and other policies that he says favor the criminal over the victim. Steve Gregory, Kfi News.
A restaurant manager in Redondo Beach has been hit by a car while trying to stop two people from driving off without paying their bills.
Cars.
The restaurant owner says the manager
Internal cars.
Monday afternoon. After a brief discussion, one of the customers drove the car into the manager and sped off.
Incredible, Stu.
An older model Burgundy Chrysler. Investigators say a felon caught in Torrance with 300 stolen ballots did not intend to sway the governor's recall election.
Incredible, Stu.
Torrance Police Sergeant Mark Ponzella says Eduardo Mina was allegedly found in August with a gun, drugs, and 1,400 pieces of mail, which includes the unopened ballot.
It's not like he filled them out and was trying to...
Incredible, Stu.
...from Dropbox.
Vermont investigators combed through evidence, including a thumb drive, laptops, and cell phones.
What they did recover from all that electronic and physical evidence or various schemes trying to commit bank fraud and identity theft.
That resulted in Nina getting indicted in September on several federal fraud charges. In Torrance, Corbin Carson, KFI News.
Serbian tennis champ Novak Djokovic will apparently not play for the 10th Australian Open title. Australian officials can't because he hasn't met the requirements for an exemption to COVID-19 vaccine rules. Former Australian tennis player and coach Louise Fleming says
Stars and 12
You know, just speaking to people in the streets, a lot of people saying it's just not fair. He shouldn't play at the Australian